presented by Seat77.com. As always, Dave Dabbah is coming to you live from the Super Plus Seat 77 broadcast studio in the heart of Silicon Valley. Now, Dave Dabbah.
Wow, Producer Buck, have we got a new intro or what? This show has gone big time. Anyways, hey, listen, everybody. Welcome to the Dave Dabbah Big Show for a President's Day. It is week 2 of the Big Show, and we are super excited. I mean, look, Producer Buck, we had the new intro, and we've got all sorts of other great things for you today on a Monday. We've got a Pebble Beach meltdown by Phil Mickelson. We've got the NBA All-Star Weekend. Michael Jordan has turned into the Godfather. All of that and more on today's The Dave Dabbah Big Show, presented by the good folks at Seat77.com. All right, North America, we are blowing up. Send us your emails at info@seat77.com, and we will read them on the air come Tuesday. Elsewhere, you can find us on iTunes. The big iTunes channel is starting to blow up, so make sure you subscribe to that. We are also on TuneIn Radio, and we'll be on Stitcher as soon as Stitcher returns from the Stitcher meltdown. I don't know if you saw this, Producer Buck, but Stitcher has been down for like 5 days in a row. Anyways, so huge show for everyone today. And of course, we have Valentine's Day weekend, and I've got a couple quick stories for you on that as well. We are actually going to kick things off, though, today with a Pebble Beach meltdown. I'm not sure if everybody had a chance to watch this yesterday as you were out doing the Valentine's Day thing with your loved ones. But Phil Mickelson, who had gone 23 for 23 putts from inside 6 feet, made it to the 18th hole down by 1. And there he is, Vaughn Taylor, the daunting Vaughn Taylor, who hasn't won a tournament in the PGA, I don't know, in I think it's been 11 years since Vaughn Taylor's won. So there's Vaughn Taylor with the wife and the kid, off to the side, and Phil gets over the putt, and it's like a 5-footer, Producer Buck. And Phil makes these in his sleep. Like I said, he's gone 23 for 23. And what does he do? He pulls a Blair Walsh, and he pulls it left. And he misses, and Vaughn Taylor and his wife are excited and happy that Phil Mickelson missed. Now, look, there's this whole thing in golf where, you really don't wish for anybody to miss a putt. But if you look at it this way, if you're Vaughn Taylor, pure Phil Mickelson joy running through his veins as Phil missed that putt. I mean, it was seriously, it was like, for me, it was a Blair Walsh flashback, being a huge Minnesota Viking fan, having this guy just miss something that close and that easy brought back nightmares from that Minnesota Vikings Seattle Seahawks game a little earlier in the year. Okay, elsewhere around the world of sports, if you didn't have a chance to witness it last night, the NBA All-Star Game. Okay, now look, I had said that I thought the score would be the West 165 to 155, and I thought I was crazy, Producer Buck, absolutely crazy for making that prediction. What was the final score, Producer Buck? 196 to 173. The West beat the East. 196 points were scored in a basketball game. Unbelievable. 196 points. So, I was watching watching bits and pieces of the game in between Valentine's Day movies that me and the wife were watching with some champagne. We had a little bit of a break from the children at one point last night. So we had the champagne. I went out and I got some fantastic Indian food, and we had love movies. And in between those love movies, I slipped in some all-star basketball. Anyway, so 196, 173 was the big final. And while I was watching, I mean, it was like my wife's like, why isn't anybody playing defense? And I was like, it's the all-star game. Nobody's going to play any defense. The biggest disappointment is that they didn't go for 200 points. That's what I would have loved to have seen if they had scored 200 points in that game. Okay, so Producer Buck, speaking of Valentine's Day, not sure what you did, but I can tell you the night before Valentine's Day, I always pick up flowers. I do, and I kind of go over the top. My wife likes stuff over the top. I'm about pleasing her. Please the wife. That is the plan. So I stop off at, I usually go to my flower person, but since this was a weekend, my flower person doesn't really live near the home office. So I had to go to an alternative. So I go to an alternative, which unfortunately for me was my least favorite place in the world to go, a Safeway. So I go into the Safeway, and there I am, and I'm in line now. They have like a very poor selection of stuff, so I've decided I'm going to kind of make my own thing. So I got a vase, an empty vase. I've got 24 roses, pink and red, and I've got some carnations to kind of mix it up. And so I'm waiting in this long line, and the guys, it's all men, and we're all making jokes and all sorts of stuff. And I finally get up to the front. So 15 minutes waiting to get into this line. There's one person working. Right? One person working. It's Valentine's Eve. And there's one person cutting flowers. So I handed the lady this stuff. And she kind of looks at me and she goes, well, what would you like me to do? And I was like, well, can you arrange them? Can you cut them? And can you drop them in the vase and put some water in? And she goes, well, I haven't been trained yet. She actually said to me, this is why Safeway is the worst place in the world. She actually says, I haven't been trained yet on cutting flowers and making them into an arrangement. And I'm like, you were working the flower place, the flower location spot at Safeway the night before the biggest holiday, and you haven't been trained yet. Safeway. If I had a brick, I would throw it at you right now. I'm telling you. Anyway, so that was my big flower experience. So it was pretty funny. So I did eventually get the flowers into the vase, and I did eventually get them cut, and I did eventually not have them arranged. So all of the red roses were on one side, all of the pink roses were on the other, and the carnations were kind of in the front, and none of them were mixed together. And the funny thing, Producer Buck, as I looked at it, I was like, hey, that looks kind of cool, so I'm going with that. So that was my big Valentine's Day, at least flower story. So Saturday night, the NBA All-Star Slam Dunk Contest, as well as the three-pointer contest, went down in Toronto. And I'm going to start with the Slam Dunk Contest because for me, this was one of the finest slam dunk contests that I think I've ever witnessed. And as I watched this thing unfold, it was clear that these two guys, Levine and Gordon, going head to head, back to back, overtime dunk after overtime dunk. It was fantastic. And in fact, I have never seen, this was the greatest dunk to lose a dunk contest by Aaron Gordon. In fact, Aaron Gordon got ripped off. The dunk contest should still be going on right now as we speak. But Aaron Gordon ended up losing. But anyways, it was the best dunk contest, I think, since Dominique and Michael Jordan. And I think that was back in '88. So congrats, though, to Levine. Gordon got ripped off. Somebody needs to put together a Gordon-Levine summertime dunk contest. Mano a mano. Levine versus Gordon. And I'd love to, I'd actually pay for that. on a little pay-per-view if they ever got around to doing that. And finally, tonight on the Dave Dabbah Big Show, presented by the good folks at Seat 77, we've got Michael Jordan, who has somehow turned in to the Godfather. Producer Buck, do you have the Klay Thompson audio courtesy of Comcast Sportsnet? Go ahead and play it now.
That you actually met Michael Jordan yesterday, and he spoke with you. I'm just curious, what did he say?
He said, go ahead and go break the record. And I told him, I was talking to him about my little brother playing for the Barons. They played for the same baseball team. And, he was, I still get starstruck when I see him because I'm like, oh, wow, it's MJ. That's the guy everyone wanted to be growing up. And, he was cool to talk to. He gave me a lot of props. Told me to tell my pops, hey, my uncle. And it was just great seeing him, man. He's easy to talk to. When I didn't know he was because it's Michael Jordan, but I felt like I honestly arrived too because he knew who I was. So that was really cool.
I know, right? So Michael Jordan, the Godfather of the National Basketball Association, apparently has given Klay Thompson and the Golden State Warriors a green light to beat his Bulls 95-96 72-game win record. Now, I was thinking about this. You know what, Michael? Screw you. I mean, seriously. Who are you to tell us what we can and can't do? Look, I love Jordan. I grew up with Jordan. I think you're fantastic. But to actually play this role as a Godfather and sit there and go, yeah, I think, Klay, it would be okay if your team beat our 95-96 record. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous that Klay Thompson felt the need to get a green light from Michael Jordan to actually go for the record. I hope that the Warriors actually pull it off because I'm tired of all of this Air Jordan, I am Godfather crap that is around the National Basketball Association. There, I said it. Nobody else has the guts to say it. I feel so much better. Anyways, so Producer Buck, we have a huge show in front of us tomorrow on the Dave Dabbah Big Show. Michael Jordan should not be the Godfather. Just trust me on that, North America. We want to hear from you. We want to know what you have to say. info@seat77.com. Michael Jordan is not the Godfather. That was somebody else. That was a different movie. Anyways, all right, Producer Buck, we are wrapping things up. Tune in radio, subscribe to the big channel for the Dave Dabbah Big Show. I'm Dave Dabbah, reminding you that not everyone can be a champion, but everyone can act like one. Cam, and good luck, North America.